My vision as a literacy educator is to prepare students for life in the 21st century. I want to be an educator that influences the minds of young students and assists them in becoming lifelong learners. Although rote learning and didactic teaching methods have their place in a contemporary classroom, my goal is to prepare students in becoming critical thinkers and to apply their learning across the Australian curriculum in not only aspects of English such as language, literature and literacy, but over cross-curriculum areas and into everyday life using a balanced and varied approach to teaching. In this digital age, students will be confronted with multimodal literacies, cultural diversity and a multitude of ever-changing linguistics. Students must be prepared in order to negotiate and engage critically with other members of their community, workplace and global citizens effectively and confidently. From the first languages ever spoken 100,000 years ago, through to the introduction of writing and use of multimodal communications, human beings have developed and adapted ways of communicating with others. Language is flexible and ever-changing. The 21st century provides a widespread application of all forms of literacy, such as printing, film, and digital technologies for more effective communication. The traditional classroom saw the basics of academic learning in reading, writing, and arithmetic, where social order and authority were the only teaching methods used. Students were required to complete spelling tests and grammar exercises with minimal forms of expression and little links to real-life scenarios. With new technology, global communications, and a requirement for transitionary knowledge came a shift in this learning to include effective meaning-making techniques. Teaching pedagogies such as didactic, authentic, functional, and critical were introduced to allow opportunities for students to create their own meanings that promote student motivation to become independent and creative thinkers. The didactic literacy pedagogy was the foundation method of teaching reading and writing skills and was a mass institutionalised method used in the 19th century. By applying repetitive methods of grammar, spelling and comprehension, students were taught literacy using structured textbooks and programs. Assessment was summative, and through the use of tests and dictation, an accurate measurement of literacy understanding was obtained. This method of teaching, however, does not meet the needs of all learners. Students, for example, that are of a non-English speaking background or may have a learning disability such as dyslexia would find these tests intimidating, and their understanding of literacy concepts would not be accurate. If used in conjunction with other teaching methods, didactic principles such as application of grammatical rules, memorization and repetition would be more successful in creating meaning for students when applied in real-life scenarios, such as memorizing the names of the week by writing names and drawing a picture underneath of what activities are performed on each day. Supported by both Gardner's multiple intelligences and Vygotsky's constructivist theory, learning outcomes and assessment strategies under the authentic teaching method incorporate the understanding that children learn in different ways, and although may show intellect in one domain, they may require assistance in another. Gardner's theory on multiple intelligences describes children's competencies in visual, kinesthetic, rhythmic, interpersonal and intrapersonal modalities. Therefore, it is essential to deliver teaching strategies that capture student attention and explore information in a variety of ways to cater for classroom differentiation. Utilising an authentic approach to literacy pedagogy motivates and engages students by participating in activities linked to real-life scenarios, which assists in individual understanding of concepts and to clarify misconceptions. Authentic meanings allow for students to make predictions and mistakes in order to develop literacy patterns, such as retelling a story from pictures. Kalantzis and Cope, however, argued that using only an authentic pedagogy assumes that students are able to make decisions on their own and can direct their learning outcomes. And while authentic instruction in the classroom does provide opportunities for success for a diverse classroom, including those whom English is their second language and students of multicultural backgrounds, learning outcomes and assessment should also be taken into consideration using other methods to ensure a balanced approach to teaching and learning. Functional approaches to literacy learning focus on the meaning behind a given text. Unlike didactic pedagogy, which breaks down grammatical procedures and phonic rules, students learn the way in which texts are used in the real world, such as reports to collate data and recipes for creating food. Derived from Vygotsky's socio-cultural theory, students understand perspective and application of text and it's in direct relation to cultural, institutional, and historical context. Functional literacy, however, should not be used as a one-way tool for instruction. For example, students must be able to understand perspectives on given text and compare them against different texts using a wide variety of educational and real-life scenarios. The effectiveness of functional literacy is for students to become involved and interested in genre exploration and the discourse of communication. Critical learning involves the active participation in literacy education that is personal and of interest to the students and their communities. Students understand the role of democracy and governments, consider other people's points of view, and analyse evidence to construct their own conclusions. This could be seen in an inquiry unit researching local environment issues and writing a letter to the local council about waste reduction or water saving initiatives. Exposing students to culture and multimedia technologies in the classroom is a powerful tool for understanding their place in the world, but too much exposure to this could become too expressive and lost within the syllabus of the Australian curriculum. As a pre-service teacher, I envisage my teaching to contain a balanced approach which includes facets of all four literacy pedagogies. Didactic instructions may be utilised to introduce phonic sounds and grammatical rules, and the use of summative assessment tests will be carried out to ensure specific understanding. Authentic lesson activities will be used to capture student attention to allow for personal construction of information and concepts. Utilising functional approaches to teaching will see students applying their knowledge to different scenarios, and formative assessment in this area will provide a greater understanding of student achievement and critical thinking across multiple capacities. I believe that critical learning should be applied in minimal circumstances and relevant only to particular areas of the curriculum. The Australian curriculum supports this vision in students being able to use language effectively and confidently, both in school and out, and to participate in society. Functional learning will enable students to view and create a wide range of texts while modifying language for different purposes and audiences. Students will also use their critical literacy skills in justifying their point of view and understanding the views of others. Having a balanced pedagogy approach to instruction will also assist in catering for the diversity of students within the classroom. Utilising various techniques to convey information, such as watching a video or role play, will allow students to increase their knowledge while constructing their own concepts.